Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to another one of our daily class meetings. Let's go ahead and start our calendar today. Today is Thursday, right? June 4th, 2020. So if today is Thursday, yesterday was Wednesday, June 3rd, 2020. So if yesterday was Wednesday and today is Thursday, tomorrow will be Flossing Friday. All right, so now that we know it's Flossing Friday or just Friday, tomorrow will be Friday, June 5th, 2020. Good. All right. Nothing going on the calendar until the end of next week when we have Grace McInnes's birthday. So, and then Flag Day is Sunday, so we'll try to talk about Flag Day sometime next week. So I missed you yesterday, so I want to catch up on the videos and the final packet for the year. So day 3, which would have been yesterday, it's still dealing with freshwater habitats like rivers and streams and lakes, some lakes. All right, there was a video called Freshwater Ecosystems. There was also an activity where you divide a paper into 4 sections and write the different types of freshwater ecosystems. And then there was a math lesson where you find and name different shapes, and we're going to do a little shape work on that today. So then there were some math videos about trapezoids, rhombuses, squares, and rectangles. So there was all that to do yesterday. Also, there was, we'll get into some of the different shapes, but there was a math activity, and it's a coloring one, which is kind of cool. This was one of my favorite ones to do with the kids in school. It's where you color in the different shapes, different colors, and then count up so you can see in this picture how many two-dimensional shapes did we use to make that picture. That's kind of a really cool activity. And then the last sheet had some information about different shapes. For example, a square is a closed shape with 4 straight sides of the same length and 4 square corners. So there's information, and we're going to go over that in a few minutes with you. So that was day 3, which was yesterday. Let's get into our clock time here. Whenever the minute hand is at the top of the clock, it's the beginning of a new hour. What time is this, boys and girls? Did you say 10 o'clock? Excellent. Now watch the clock carefully. Now what time is it? Did you say 10:15? You're right. Keep watching the minute hand. Now what time is it, boys and girls? Did you say 10:30? You're right. Now watch the minute hand, boys and girls. What time is that, boys and girls? Did you say 10:45? If you did, you're correct. And then what time would this be? It's the beginning of a new hour, so it would be 11 o'clock. All right, let's practice a few of those. We'll do this here. What time, boys and girls? Yell them out. 2 o'clock is correct. Now, 2:15 is correct. Now, 2:30 is correct. Good. Now, 2:45 is correct. And now, 3 o'clock is correct. Excellent. We're going to keep working on telling time in 15-minute intervals, which are called quarter of an hour, and also to the hour and to the half hour. Your second grade teachers are going to be thrilled that you guys are so good at that. So let's look at today's packet. Oh, before we do that, let's talk about shapes for a second. In our math, they're talking about closed shapes versus open shapes. A closed shape, this is a closed shape. Why is it a closed shape? Picture if a dog was in the middle of this shape. And this is a fence. Is there any way for the dog to get out? Nope. If the dog goes this way, it can't get out. If it goes this way, if it goes this way, this way. This is called a closed shape. Do you think this would be a closed shape? That's not a closed shape. See, there's a space here. That's not a closed shape. Is this a closed shape? Yes. Is this a closed shape? Yes. Is this a closed shape? Nope. The dog is in here. The dog can get to freedom. So basically a closed shape is a shape where all of the sides end up connecting in some way. Closed, closed, and closed. So when you hear the term closed shape, that's what we're talking about. Now let's look at some of the two-dimensional shapes that we're learning about. This first shape is a two-dimensional shape, meaning it's a flat shape that you can draw on a piece of paper. Three-dimensional would be like a ball. If you're holding a ball, it's three-dimensional, you can feel it. All right, so this is a flat shape. So this is a closed shape. How many sides does it have? It has 1, 2, 3 sides. How many corners does it have? A corner would be where two sides meet. There's a corner, there's a corner, there's a corner. It has 3 corners. Excellent. So if you wanted to describe this is called a triangle. Tri means 3. A triangle is a closed shape with 3 sides and 3 corners. Okay, ready for the next one? What shape is this, boys and girls? It's a circle, right? No, it's a square. Okay, boys and girls, is it a closed or open shape? Closed shape. How many sides does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 sides. How many corners does it have? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. And the corners are what we call square corners. Look, that's a square corner. You can make a square out of it because of the angles. They're square corners. Do you see that, boys and girls? All 4 of the corners are square corners in a square. A characteristic of a square. A square, every side is the exact same length. So this one is the same as this one, is the same as this one, is the same as this one. Okay, that's a square. Here's another shape that has 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. This shape is a closed shape and it has 4 sides. How many corners does it have, boys and girls? And look, they're square corners too. That's important to know. 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 4 corners, but unlike the square, this shape, these 2 sides are the same, and these 2 sides are the same, but this side and this side are not the same length. This is called a what? Do you guys know the name of this shape? It's called a rectangle. Now here's an interesting fact for you. This is a rectangle. A square is called a special type of rectangle. Even though it's called a square, it can also be called a rectangle. It's really a weird thing. I never knew this for years and years and years. It's a special type of rectangle because all the sides are the same, but So a square can be called a rectangle, but a rectangle can never be called a square, if that makes any sense. Right now, probably not. Don't worry about it. All right, next one. What shape is this, boys and girls? It's not perfect, but this is the circle. Does it have any sides? I don't think it has any straight sides. It has an outside to it. It's a closed shape. It has 0 corners. 0 corners. So remember that. All right, let's go to 5-sided shapes. What's a 5-sided shape called? Does anybody know? Look at the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 sides. Should also have 5 corners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 corners. Does anyone know what that shape is called? It's called a pentagon. Can you guys say pentagon? Pull that up here, see if I have it listed here. I don't have it listed here for some reason in our list of shapes, but it's called a pentagon, and it has 5 sides and 5 corners. All right, the next one, I'm going to do 2 more for you today. So there is, look at this though. Do you notice the number of sides and corners is always the same on a shape? That's very interesting. You ready? So if I drew a shape and it had 1,000,000 sides, can you tell me how many corners it would have? How many corners would a shape have if it had 1,000,000 sides? It would have 1,000,000 corners. All right, next one, you ready? This shape has 6 sides. People have a hard time remembering this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is called a hexagon. Hex means 6, and hex and 6 both have an X in them. That's how you remember hexagon is a 6-sided shape. So it has 6 sides and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 corners. And again, it's a closed shape. The last one I'm not going to draw, but it is a 8-sided shape, which is a octagon. And an 8-sided shape would be a stop sign. A stop sign's that you're driving and your parents stop. It's a red sign. It says stop on it. That's a stop sign. It has 8 sides. So how many corners does it have? 8 corners. Perfect. All right, boys and girls. 2 more things. Let's look at day 4, which is today. Today's video is about the saltwater habitat, and Mrs. Manahan is reading that video today. She does a really nice job reading about the saltwater habitat. Then there's a story to read about mandrills. Mandrills are a part of the primate family. So I'd like you to read about mandrills today, and if you can't read it, have someone read it to you, and you follow along so you can try to figure out some of the words. And then there are questions to answer about mandrills. There's 4 questions. 3 of them are short answer, which means you have to write out an answer. One of them is multiple choice, where you have a question and then you get choices and you color in the correct answer. Before I go, boys and girls, there was also, when I dropped off stuff to you, math games. It's first grade math games, June 1st to the 17th. This one is a roll, read, and color a math problem. So you roll a die, or dice, and then let's say it's 2. You pick one of these 3, solve it, and then you can color it in. It doesn't really tell you what color, so I guess you get to color it any color you want. Make sure that you check your work, and have mom or dad check your work. And again, roll a math problem. This one doesn't say to color it, but I think coloring it's like the cool part of it. So roll it, solve it, color it. So that is it for today. I hope you guys are staying safe, getting outside and enjoying some of this beautiful weather that we're having. And I can't wait to see all of you. I don't have the calendar here next, but 1 week from today, next Thursday, Ms. Ditzel's class is at 12:45, and Mr. Vanderwerf's class is at 2 o'clock next week on Thursday. And that is, we have some things that we want to give you, including your yearbooks. I'm told the yearbooks will be in by then, and everyone in first grade is going to get one of those. So I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.